Alex, a little bit later, because right now we've got to take you to Grimsby, where they're declaring the result of the Greater Lincolnshire mayoralty. Let's listen in.
Follows: Horscroft, Sally Ann, The Green Party, 15,040. Jenkyns, Andrea Marie, Reform UK, 104,133. Overton, Marianne Jane, Lincolnshire Independents, 19,911. Stockwood, Jason, Labour and Cooperative Party, 30,384. Waltham, Alan Robert, commonly known as Rob Waltham, Local Conservatives, 64,585. Young, Trevor Victor, commonly known as Trevor Young, Liberal Democrats, 13,728. The number of ballot papers rejected was as follows: want of official mark, 0. Voting for more candidates than the voter was entitled to vote for, 128. Writing or mark by which the voter could be identified, 45. Unmarked or void for uncertainty, 1,838. The total number of rejected ballot papers was 2,011. And I do hereby declare that the said Andrea Marie Jenkyns is duly elected as Mayor to the Greater Lincolnshire Combined County Authority.
Wow, what a long night. Thank you. To the people of Lincolnshire, thank you for putting your trust in me. I will work tirelessly for you every day. To the council officers and everybody in this room who's shattered, I thank you as well. I thank my big sister, who's also my agent. She's a walking miracle. She nearly died, was in a coma 18 months ago and was told she'd never walk again. And she's here today, and she's my election agent. To my team, to Max and the team, and all my amazing Reform volunteers who's pounded the streets, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now to Nigel, to Richard and to Zia, I thank you for your friendship, for your support, and getting me through these last few difficult weeks. I'm immensely proud to be part of the Reform family. So thank you for welcoming me. And thank you to my friend Gloria, who's in the audience, for keeping me sane. Now, I've fought many elections, 4 general elections, my 3rd local election, but I'm going to be brief with this, don't worry. I've never experienced such negativity and soul-destroying campaigns against me like this one. It was soul-destroying. The dirty tricks in the US politics, I believe it's now being imported here into Britain. The Conservatives called the police on me and implied I slept with political friends. They contacted the mainstream media to smear me. The Independent's husband pushed for a hearing at the council. My barrister had to represent me. The case was dismissed. The campaign was also filled with irony. As one of the candidates stated, I was parachuted in. She said in her South African accent. Now, they undemocratically tried to remove me from the ballot. But I will say no more on this, and I wish them all well. Because this is insignificant now, and I'll draw a line under it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new dawn in British politics. Is that a sign? The rebuilding begins here. Now, Britain, we're going to have a Britain where we put British people first, where we put you and your families first. We'll make sure that you are in front of the queue and you are at the heart of our policy decisions. Today, we as Reform, as we're making gains up and down the country, you will see an end to soft-touch Britain. The fight back to save the heart and soul of our great country has now begun. Now that reform is in a place of power, we can help start rebuilding Britain. Inch by inch, reform will reset Britain to its glorious past. We will tackle illegal migration. We've been working on policies. I say no to putting people in hotels. Tents are good enough for France. They should be good enough for here in Britain. But I take my hat off to our great leader, Nigel. Now, he has fought for decades, and he still fights for you here today. And I know one day he will make a magnificent Prime Minister. Now, to the people of Lincolnshire, I will fight for you. I will not shy away from asking tough questions and challenging the two-tier system that has broken Britain. With me as your mayor, I will always put you first. I will keep your taxes low. I will work with you, with our industries, with our business, and with our young people. And together, it's time to heal. We will deliver a once-in-a-generation change. I will lead with a sword of common sense and cut through wastage and bureaucracy. I will fight for the heart and soul for our farmers against this god-awful Labour government. And I will fight against the destruction of our countryside by Ed Miliband. I will fight to ensure Lincolnshire is the best place to live, to work and retire. But most importantly, as a mum to my precious gift in the world, my 7-year-old son Clifford, just as I fight for him and his future, I will fight for your children's future. I will fight for your children's future in this great county that I grew up. Thank you.
So Andrea Jenkyns there, having won the Greater Lincolnshire mayoralty for reform. The former Tory MP there saying that she was immensely proud to now be part of the reform family. And while she said she had great ambitions in that role, she also said she'd never experienced such negativity during the campaign. Let's bring in Mari now. And this will be a great victory for reform off the back of winning the by-election in Runcorn and Helsby.
Yeah, absolutely. They're riding high this morning. I think Andrea Jenkyns' comments there were quite interesting because after she said she was going to draw a line under what had happened with her political opponents, but she did spend quite a lot of time talking about it and what she felt was, political smears and dirty tricks that she said had been imported from the US and into British politics. So she did sound, I would say, slightly, scarred, bitter, however you want to phrase it, about that. And she felt that she'd been unfairly victimised. But nonetheless, she said she'd been vindicated. She said this is the end of soft touch Britain. And it was time to put British people first again. So quite tough rhetoric, really, from Andrea Jenkyns on that. As we were saying earlier in the programme, she is a former Tory MP. She used to be a Tory, and now she's a Reform Greater Lincolnshire mayor. And she also said near to the end of her speech that Nigel Farage, she believed, would make a great Prime Minister. So clearly showing that Reform really do have their heart set on winning the next general election. That is their focus. Reform sources have always been saying to me, the first step is showing they can run a council. The second step is showing they can run a country, which would be Wales. They feel they might do really well in Wales next year. And the third step would be then showing they can run the nation. And Greater Lincolnshire there is really just a testament to how well Reform have done on their local campaigning on the ground. Let me read you a quote from a Reform UK source. This is about the Runcorn by-election, but it applies to all of what they're winning so far. They say to me, "We have talked a big game on professionalism, but we can now see it in action. For Reform to overcome Labour's machine in a winning seat like this," Runcorn and Helsby, "is nothing short of historic. There is much more to come."